Hello everybody, welcome to week 9 of our English composition class. This week we're going to be working on looking for sources, reading about sources, practicing using sources, outside sources. Outside sources are journals, magazines, newspapers, interviews that you bring to a paper. And you can use a source generally to support your ideas, but you can also use it to explain a challenging topic. You can even use a source that you want to argue against. We talked about using sources a few weeks ago, so if you need to know more information about that, look at the video lecture a couple weeks back. I want to show you how to get to the library databases here at SMCC, and then I want to talk about the research paper a little bit. Here's the website that we all know and love, smccme.edu. We click on My SMCC, and then I always just start by logging in, making sure I'm logged in. Let's see. Next. Alright, so we are logged in, ready to go. And you're going to find the Learning Commons under My Main Guide. And also below at the bottom before My Main Guide you'll see Online Library and Online Learning Commons as well. So since My Main Guide seems to be taking long, let's go to the Online Learning Commons. Alright, so there's a lot of good information here. We're going to go to the library, and under the library heading you'll see articles and databases. And that's what we're looking at here. Now, I've been using EBSCOhost over my years here at SMCC, and this is what I advocate students use. And it's a pretty simple database. There's just a little kind of tricks in terms of narrowing what you want to look at. Our research paper is going to be advocating for a change you want to see in public education. I've had a number of different topics come in about this over the years. Some of my favorite deal with arts and music in school. So maybe I want to search the value of musical training in school. So let's do this. Let's just make a quick search of music and high school benefits. And search. Alright, so we've got 7 here, which I don't like that much. Music Takes to the Woods. Kind of looks interesting. Music at the Core, Building Bridges and Creating Experience. That looks really good. Let's take a look at this. This is from Illinois Music Educator. Alright, this looks fantastic. I might be able to use some of this for my paper. And if you don't find stuff that you like, you can always refine the search. You know, maybe I'm, let's see, learning a musical instrument. And this even gives me, let's see this. Learning a musical instrument can benefit a child with special educational needs. We'll search that. Let's see what we come up with. We've got one right here from Psychomusicology, Music, Mind, and Brain. That might be an interesting one. Or we could just do learning a musical instrument. Let's see what comes up there. Alright, so this has 143 different articles. Learning a musical instrument can benefit a child with special educational needs, improving children's executive functions by learning to play a musical instrument. There's one in French. I'm not going to go for that one. Learning a musical instrument, the case for parental support. Alright, so if I did want to change, if I did want to somehow come up with a way to get through these 147 articles, 143 articles without looking at them all, I can change the date they were publicated. Maybe I want, let's say stuff from the last 10 years. So I'll go from 2010 to 2020. That gives me 90 articles. I don't know if I want academic journals. Let's just look at magazines and newspapers. Brain training, that looks good. Music from the ground up, in the woodshed, makes Music makes for better grades. Now that looks like a fantastic article I could use for my paper on the benefits of musical education. And again, what I did was just select magazines and newspapers. Academic journals provide a lot of interesting information. For such a short research paper, I might not want to dive into an academic journal piece. A magazine or newspaper article might be better. And depending on what I want to do with these, I could summarize them, I could paraphrase them, or I could use a direct quote. So that gets us through EBSCOhost. ProQuest is another one we can use. Although I've had challenges using ProQuest in the last few months, it doesn't seem to want to work on some of my computers. So EBSCO is a good one. And finally, we can use a Google search engine. I don't particularly like using that. I'd rather grab something from a library database. But if I was going to use Google search engine, I would put in my search terms and then type in newspaper or magazine article or maybe even academic journal just to see what Google offers me in those worlds. Okay, that gets us through the library databases. Let's take a look real quick at the research paper assignment. The purpose of a research paper is to analyze, to evaluate, to synthesize. And you're going to arrive at an informed opinion. It's not just a presentation of a collection of quotes or a report of what others have said. You're weaving different sources together to support a thesis. If I was going to work on the benefits of musical education, I would want to choose 3 or 4 broad categories that those benefits fall into. Maybe there's a social benefit to musical education. Maybe there's a cognitive benefit to musical education. Maybe there's an emotional benefit to musical education. And so I would kind of structure my paper in those broad categories, and then I'd find support to align with my ideas. Now, that's analyzing is taking evidence and highlighting it for the reader. That's what you're going to be doing. Evaluating is taking evidence and making a judgment call. Is it right? Is it correct? Synthesizing is bringing things together. So that's what a research paper does. The requirements for this paper aren't too extraordinary. They're pretty standard. It's going to be 4 to 5 pages of text. You're going to have a title page. That's not one of those pages. You're going to have a works cited page. That's also not one of those pages. So the 4 to 5 pages of text is the actual writing. 3 sources. On here I have 1 peer review study. Those can be challenging to find depending on the topic. So if you can't find one, you can certainly use an EBSCOhost or ProQuest article. You can use a newspaper or magazine. You're looking to create an engaging introduction that gets the reader excited about your topic, and then a thought-provoking conclusion. You're going to be advocating for, you don't have to do these different topics, but these are some that I've had in the past. Required participation in athletics, language or foreign education travel, traveling abroad. Oh, that's challenging these days. Music or instrument education, arts education. It says one of the following. You don't have to do one of these. These are just some of the topics that have been covered in the past. All right. I think that covers the research paper for now. You can start thinking about your topic. You can start doing some research. This week you're going to be reading a research essay called In Praise of the Humble Dung Beetle. You're going to learn the term charismatic megafauna, which is a great term. You're going to be looking at the sources in that and answering the questions for a reading response. You have a quick source practice for discussion, and you're going to be thinking about your paper. There's also a research video from the library that I posted as well. Best of luck this week, and take care.